of course, there are some. Everywhere you go, there is positive and negative,
Right.
and you have to take. It's like a ball, and then you have to take the good, the bad, the yellow, the green, everything that comes with it. And unfortunately, yes, they might not be like so friendly with the black people back then, but there's so many things that was great. I mean, food was fantastic. The country is so huge, man, that you can for bloody 2 years and do different cities every week or every month, and then you will have not seen the whole country. I was going skiing. I was going skiing in the northern part. I was going to the Muslim part. You know, there's the Xinjiang province. Also, I was doing a lot of castings there. So I was doing a lot of shootings and commercials there. It was great. And then it was a great economy, and they love everything that was French. At the time, I don't know if it's still. I haven't been there for a while. I think the last time I was there was 4 years ago. But they love anything that was French. So as you come and you say, hey, yeah, I'm from France, they were like very, oh yeah, Paris, yeah. You know, because at the time everything, you know, Louis Vuitton and Chanel and the perfume and everything. So it was quite a rewarding experience, nevertheless. But of course, my experience with Japan was 10 times bigger in so many levels.
So let me ask you, how was the treatment? Well, how did the Japanese women treat you?
I don't know if we can talk about the sexual part. Let me just say that sexually, I feel like Asian women, because of the culture where they don't show the emotion, so it's difficult to know what they really feel. So you can be with a Japanese girl, for example, or Asian girl or a Chinese girl for so long, and they don't really tell you that they love you because it's not in the culture, you know. So it was very difficult in that sense because you never knew how the person felt about you. They don't exteriorize these things, so in a way, it's like you're with someone and then you never know how they feel about you. And even when they do, you don't know if they're really giving you everything or if they are holding on to something just because of what the people, the outlook of people on our relationship. So it's they treat you fantastically indoors. Outdoor, some might be like okay with it, and others might not be. So you get treated a different way. So a girl can be with you in China. A girl can be with you inside, then she's fantastic, and then as soon as you get in outside, she's a little bit different. Or she really mind the outlook of other people onto what we do. In Japan, I never felt that. I never felt that. So if they are good with you inside, they are good with you outside. If they are not good with you inside, they are not good with you outside.
And who was more beautiful in your opinion, Japanese women or Chinese women?
Oh, you'll find beautiful women everywhere around the world, bro. It doesn't matter. In China, you'll find great women, and then today with technology, you know, there's a lot of plastic surgery and stuff like that. So even if some of them don't have that perfect look, now they all want to attain that perfect look. So definitely they go for the plastic surgery, and then, you know, the enhancement, and then the fake hair and everything. So I mean, of course, I would say that I have a tiny preference for Japanese women than Chinese women, but you will find equally fantastic, beautiful Chinese women as you will find Japanese women. It's just that I think that the Japanese women are more stylish. They have this little special thing that they have because it's just the way they are. In my own opinion, if I look at a Japanese woman, she has this little something very sexy that is natural. While I would always feel like the Chinese woman, she has it, but it's something that she had to work to get it, and then she has, it's like she has to put it on or something in a way. So it's but you find them everywhere.
Okay, and let's go backwards for a little minute. How was it growing up in France?
It was fantastic. We have had a multicultural society in France for quite a while now, and even though we have had the issues of race. There's always been racism in France or in Europe, but you never ever really felt it. And of course, you know, you had to knock some people out from time to time because, you know, they were talking nonsense. But generally, there's always been this multicultural society that has been accepted. And even if there is racism, because there is, you know, racism in France, you never felt it. It was already something hidden. Now you feel it a little bit more because, you know, you're going to ask for a job, and depending on your name, they might say yes before even you get to the job interview, or they might say no because your name doesn't sound. But this is just pocket racism here and there. It's not something that you see everywhere. So I grew up, and I never had that kind of problems that you may have around the world, you know. Now, like in my primary school, in the class where I was, there was, I think there was equally the same amount of white, black, Arabs, or mix. You know. But then I came from a neighborhood where there was a huge proportion of black, Arabs, Chinese, or everything. So it's mixed in a way.
And what made you want to travel the world?
I've always had it. Traveling is something that I've going away. So when I was younger, I always dreamt of the fact that I was going to see Australia and Japan. So this is something that very young, I was like, I think I was 10 to 11, I was already feeling like, all right, when I grow up, there's these two countries that I have to visit, and that's Australia and Japan. So, and then when I turned 18, I decided to go to England, and that's where how it started. I just said, yeah, let me move to England and see if I can make it even away from France, because you never know. Some people can do it, others can. I didn't have that confidence that, you know, I can go away. You know, I lived all my life with my parents. I lived at my parents' place. I didn't live alone at the time, so I was like, okay, let me go and check it out. If it's good, it's good. If it isn't, it isn't. And it was okay. So then it gave me the confidence to go further. And this is how it started. So I moved to England, and then I said, wow, it's actually quite great, and I enjoyed it. So after a few years in England, I was like, okay, let me try further. And then I moved to Norway, and then the ball started rolling, and then it never stopped. It never stopped.
And how was it in Norway?
Norway is special. Let's just say that at the time, when I moved to Norway the first time, there was not a lot of black people. So I felt like, as a black person in Scandinavia, I was very exotic, you know. So you know, there was not a lot of black people. So it's a country where you walk around. And then when I moved to Norway, I actually moved to a place called Trondheim, which is like in the middle of Norway, in the middle part of Norway. So it's away from the big city. Even though Trondheim is the third biggest city in the country, there was not a lot of black people there. So me and other black people there, we were very exotic, you know. People would look at us like, yeah, something exotic, because there was not a lot of brown people at the time. So it felt really good in the fact that, you know, now there's not a lot of you, and people look at you as something like exotic. I never felt like this before, so it was quite special. Mm-hmm. And of course, so many blondes, so many, so it's like, yeah, you are like, you know, of course, at the time, you know, I didn't go out with that many blondes as when I went to Norway, and then that's the only thing you dated was blonde women. And actually the exotic women in Norway was the brunettes, or the Latin kind of women, you know. So yeah, he was quite special. I really enjoyed that time when I moved to Norway. And then of course, I love skiing, so moving to Norway was special, because then I could finish work at 5 o'clock. I drive an hour. I'm in the top of the mountain. I ski for 2 hours, and then at 9 o'clock I'm back home. So it was like in Paris, if you want to ski, you got to take the train for 3 to 4 hours or 5 hours down south, and then you got to stay there at least for a week, because it's a vacation. While in Norway, I'm going to ski every day after work. So I enjoy that part. The only problem is that after after 2-3 years, at the beginning I didn't feel the cold. I didn't feel how cold it was until 2-3 years down the line. Then I started to say, wow, although it's great to be here, I'm now being tired of the cold. Now remember in Norway, in the winter, you close at the sun goes down, the sun goes up at around 9-10 o'clock. 9 o'clock will be like in the winter, and then it goes down at 4. So in a way, if you're working in the morning, you get to work, it's dark, and then you go out at work, it's dark again because the sun went up and down again. So after a while, I started to feel a little bit tired of this winter, this long winter. They also have long winter and very short summer. So then I started to feel a little bit, maybe I want to be in some place a little bit sunnier. And also you have to remember, when it's dark all the time like that, the people in their mind, it's a little bit, it's a little bit stressful in the winter. So people in the winter are mostly like kind of like down, negative, they're not friendly, they don't smile, it's everybody on their own, and then of course it's so cold that you have to put all the jackets, the thing and stuff like that. So it started to, you could see the depressed people around you. And if you can be the most funny person and then the upbeat person and the positive person you want to be, but when everybody around you is like, it's not negative, but it's more, everybody is like, and they going their own ways and doing their own things, and they just want to go home, and they're just like down like that, it gets to you. So I had to move. So, and then I just take the next place. I mean, as a DJ, that's the good part about being a DJ, is that I can pick up a place that I want to move to and then move there.
Hey guys, make sure you check out the Blackmen Travels merch store, where we have Blackmen Travels t-shirts and Blackmen Travels tank tops. Peace.